Welcome to the C programming class, and in today's class we will be looking into file handling in C, that is file input and output operations, how to read data or write, how to read data from files and how to write data onto files. When we look into C programming, though syllabus varies from university to university, the concepts are same. Okay. So students of any university or learners of C programming language can go through this video and can get benefit out of this video. So today I am dealing about file input and output operations in C. This is with respect to JNTU Hyderabad syllabus. The subject is named as programming for problem solving. So in this, file handling is given as a part of third unit. So if you look into this third unit, so in this third unit, so files, the concepts are like this: files, text files, binary files, creating and working with text files and binary files, appending data onto existing files, writing and reading structures using binary files, random access using fseek, ftell and rewind functions. So before starting our lecture on file input and output, what is this file? Why must we work on this input and output operations on file? So far, in the concepts covered so far in the C programming language, C programming, we have printf and scanf statements. Scanf is for input and printf is for output. We know those two functions are defined in stdio.h header file. And with scanf I can read data from standard input, that is from console, and with printf I can send data onto the screen to the console. So if I want to read data from a file, so we all know file is a collection of some records or some data. So with files we must be able to read data, means whatever data is available in files we must be able to read it, and we must be able to change the data in the files, and we must be able to write data into the new data into the files. Now with this file input and output operations in C, so in C programs we are going to write programs to read data from existing files or write new data into the files, into new files or existing files. So in this part we will be working with this introduction to files, text and binary files, creating, reading and writing text files, and working. This is all the syllabus which we have seen earlier in the beginning of this video. Coming to the definition of a file. Coming to the definition of a file is an external collection of related data treated as a unit. A file is a collection of data stored in one unit identified by a file name. So it can be a document or a picture or a audio or video stream, data library, whatever it is, any collection of data. It might be audio data or pictures or video. We call it as a file. Every file will have a name. And some files are distinguished with other files by using some extensions. If we say .jpg file, so we say it as a image file. If we say .mp3, it is a audio file. So .mp4, it is a video file. So similarly different files are categorized by using their extensions. Okay. And a buffer is a temporary storage area that holds data while they are being transferred to or from memory. Coming back to the differences between text files and binary files. Text files, all data are human readable text characters, whereas here all data are in the same format they are stored in. And in text files each line ends with a new line character. There are no new line characters. And text files end with UOF character, whereas here there is nothing like UOF, but we will be having a UOF marker. to say majorly the difference between these text files and binary files. The contents in text files are readable. Humans can read it, whereas the contents in binary files are not readable. Okay. I will show you some examples of text files and binary files. If you look into this file, I will open it. Actually, there is some data in it, but we are not able to read it. So this is a binary file. Similarly, I will open a text file also. This is a text file where we can read the data. The difference between this text file and binary file is majorly, in text file you can write data, and binary file you can write data. When you write data onto a text file, whatever be the format you write, let me say I want to write an integer 25. The 25 is converted to text, that is characters 2 and 5, and will be written. Whereas when you write an integer 25 into a binary file, the binary codes, zeros and ones, are stored. Okay. And when we want to try to open it, the codes are shown where we cannot understand. Those are not human readable. That is a major difference. So whatever data, if you write a float value into a text file, that will be converted into characters, that is 2.53, you want to write a float value. So it is converted into characters like 2 is one character, dot is one character, 5 is one character, and 3 is one character. Whereas if you write the same 2.53 float value into a binary file, so all binaries, zeros and ones, will be written where they are not human readable. That is one major difference. And the other second difference is, in text file we can write in lines, first line, second line. There will be a new line character at the end of every line. Whereas here there are no new line characters. It will be there in a single line. And every text file ends with a UOF character, whereas in binary files there will not be any UOF marker, but we can write UOF as a character there. Okay. These are the differences between text files and binary files. And working with files in C, there are 4 steps to work with. The first one is create the stream. The first step to work with is to create the stream and then open a file, then process it. When we open a file, we must be performing an operation on it, or performing your operation in the sense reading data or writing data onto it. And finally, after the operation is completed, close the file. So creating the stream, opening the file, processing, that is reading or writing, and closing. So when you want to work with any file, these 4 steps are mandatory. Okay. You look into this, what are those functions available. When it comes to C, any input and output operation is done using streams only. You may get it out. So we have worked with scanf and printf, but we have not used any streams there. Okay. Scanf by default uses the stream stdin, and printf by default uses the stream stdout. Scanf is a input function which uses the input stream stdin, and printf uses the stream stdout. Okay. These are all defined in stdio.h header file. So C declares and defines 3 stream pointers in stdio.h header file. One is stdin, the other one is stdout, and the third one is stderr. So this is used to work with errors when we are performing input and output operations. So these stdin, stdout are used to work with only console. So stdin is a stream used to get data from console. Stdout is used to send data to the console. Okay. Whereas similarly, to get data from files and to send data to files, we must and should create file streams. Means any input and output operations must be done using streams only. So file streams are created as a pointer of file. Similarly, as you have some data types, int, char, float, long, something else. So we have some type defined already in stdio.h header file, that is file. Any pointer of this is a file stream. Okay. Now we will be looking into the normal functions available to work with input and output in C. So the std.shader file contains several different input output functions to work with input and output, and they are grouped into eight categories. The first one is open and close functions, formatted input output functions, character input output functions, line input output functions, block input output functions, file positioning functions, system file operation functions, file status functions. So all these functions are used to work with input and output in C. Okay. So both, they are from, it might be through files or console. Okay. We will be looking into these functions now one by one. So the first category is file open and close. So as we have previously seen, to work with files there are 4 steps: create the stream, open the file, process the file, close the file. So creating the stream we will see, and then open and finally close. So there are 2 functions available to work with file open and close. One is fopen and the other one is fclose. Okay. So fopen, file name, and we need to specify mode. So I want to open a file, and what is that file that we need to specify here in this file name, and mode, in which mode you want to open a file. So as we have previously seen, as I told in the introduction part, we open file to perform operations on it. What operations we want to perform? Sometimes we may want to perform only read operations, means already file is existing and content is available in the file and we want to read it. And sometimes we open a file to write data into it, and writing data into it comes into 2 categories. If a file is already existing and if you want to erase all the contents in it and write new data, then we say it as write mode. If you have a file, already data is available and you want to add new data to the end of that file, then it is append mode. You can see here, R means read mode, W means write mode, A means append mode. R plus means read and write mode. Means first a file will be opened in read mode and then it will be, then we can change it to write mode also. And similarly we have W plus, means first a file will be opened in write mode and then we can perform read operations also. Similarly append mode, A plus, means first we can open the file in append mode and then we can perform read and write operations on it. The same is the case for binary files. So the difference is, if you want to open a text file only in read mode, I use R. If I want to open a file, a binary file in read mode, I use RB, write mode, WB, A, append mode, write mode along with read mode, RB plus or R plus B. WB, these both are same. Similarly AB plus A plus B, both are same. Append mode along with append binary file along with read and write operations. So first, when we after going through few read IO functions, we will be looking into example programs. So far we have gone through only one category of functions, file open and close. In that we have gone through 2 functions. One is fopen, other one is fclose. Any file opened in any mode, either it might be read mode, write mode, append mode, or read plus, write plus, append plus mode, must and should be closed after completing its operations. Okay. These are the 2 functions in file open and close category, first category. And when it comes to second category, it is formatted input output functions. Here totally we have 4 functions: scanf, printf, fscanf and fprintf. Scanf, printf, fscanf and fprintf. So scanf, printf we are very much aware of. So we have a control string and address list in scanf, and printf we have control string and value list. So these 2 functions, scanf and printf, are used to work with standard input and output, that is our console. So where with scanf works with the stream std in, printf works with the stream std out. Similarly, in standard input output, we have two other functions similar to scanf and printf. One is fscanf and the other one is fprintf. Fscanf is similar to scanf. The only difference is we have a stream pointer here. Similarly, fprintf is similar to printf. We have a stream pointer. Means scanf have only two parameters. Fscanf have three parameters. Printf have two parameters. Fprintf have three parameters. The third parameter is stream pointer. So in the first two cases, there are no stream pointers. By default, scanf works with std in, printf works with std out. In fscanf, in this place, if I write std in the place of stream pointer, if I write std in, then it is nothing but scanf. In fprintf, if I write in stream pointer, if I write std out, then it is nothing but printf. Okay. Now we will see how to use this fscanf and fprintf to work with files also. Okay. So far we have seen totally 6 functions. In file open and close, file open is one function, file close is another function, and in formatted input output we have 4 functions: scanf, fscanf, printf, fprintf. Okay. Now we will work with few functions, few programs to work with input and output, with standard input and standard output, as well as files also. Now, so I will be working with code blocks where I have a C compiler in it. I have already written few programs for you. This is formatted input output. Just I am opening these files. Once all these files are opened, I will explain you what are these, how to work with this. Now, if you look into this program, a very simple one. Normally we know how to write a scanf function. Okay. So fscanf, normally we write a scanf function like scanf, so %d and %a to read an integer from keyboard. When I write fscanf, we must and should specify a stream here. Okay. So scanf is an input function, so we must and should specify a input stream, and to get input from keyboard I am using std in. Similarly, fscanf, one more function std in, means I want to read 2 integers from the stream std in. So std in works with input console. So these are similar to scanf functions. Similarly, there are 2 functions std out. There are 2 functions fprintf and fprintf, where I am displaying those a and b values. Okay. We will see. We will run this program and we will see how we will get the output. Now, I will enter a value 25 and I will enter one more value 35. See, we got the output a equals to 25 and b equals to 35. Means if you look into this program, fscanf std in %d %a, means fscanf is the input function, std in is console input stream. Okay, similarly the same is the case. So this first statement take 25 as input, second statement take 35 as input, and this fprintf displays a equals 25 and fprintf, the other one, displays b equals to 35. So with this illustration we can understand that printf and scanf are very much, that is fprintf and fscanf are very much similar to printf and scanf. The only difference is scanf and printf by default uses the stream stdin, and in fscanf, fprintf, if I use stdin and stdout, they are similar to scanf and printf. And one cautious thing what we need to do here is, fscanf is the input, so we should use the stream stdin only. We can't use stdout here because stdout is the output stream. Similarly, fprintf is an output function. We should output stream only, but we cannot use input stream stdin here. You look into one more program. Here I have a file. If you look into this file, I have declared two variables a and b. A initial value is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, b is 6 5 3 9 8 2, and I have created a file pointer. Okay, file star fp1. So to work with files, I have shown you a screen previously. To work with files, we must and should follow 4 steps: create the stream, open the file, perform read or write operation, and then finally close it. Okay. We are following this. Creating the stream means creating a pointer variable of type file. So star fp1. So fp1 is a file stream now. fp1 is a file stream now. And then second step is open the file. So I can open the file in read mode or write mode. So fopen f1.txt means I want to work with f1.txt file. Okay, and I am opening in write mode. Okay, so if you look into the slides again, to work with open and close, we have different modes: read mode, write mode, append mode, r plus, w plus. Whatever mode we want to work with, we need to keep it in double quotes, and the first parameter is the file name. Means now I want to open file f1.txt in write mode. Now, so many questions here: is f1.txt already available or not available? So C is very clear that in C, when you open a file in write mode, if the file already exists, all the contents of the file will be deleted and my file pointer points to the beginning. If a file doesn't exist, f1.txt will be created. This is when you open a file in write mode only. When you open a file in write mode, if a file exists, the contents will be erased. If a file doesn't exist, the file will be created. Now we will look into our directory whether that f1.txt is available or not. It is available. Now I will delete this file. I have deleted. Now f1.txt is not there in my directory. It is very clear that f1.txt is not there in my directory. Now coming back to my program, means I want to open a file f1.txt in write mode which is not available. So automatically C creates that file. So while creating, if there is an error, it returns null. F1 will be null. Otherwise, fp1 points to f1.txt file. Now fprintf. So we have seen printf is for output. %d comma a. So a is an integer value, and it is going to display 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. In this place, in fp1 place, previous program we have given stdout. Stdout is the output stream in printf statement. When we have given that, we have got the output on the screen. Now I have given fp1. fp1 is a file pointer which has opened file f1.txt in write mode. Means whatever output you give here will be written into fp1 now. fp1 in the sense to the file f1.txt. Means Here fp1 is there, so the a value 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 will be written into f1.txt. If you replace this fp1 with stdout, if you replace that with stdout, this output 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, which is a value, will be sent to the screen. You will be seeing it onto the screen, but I don't want the output onto the screen. I want to send the data into my fp1. So one cautious thing is, printf is the output pointer. Printf is the output function. So obviously this fp1 must open a file in write mode or append mode only. This fp1 must open a file in write mode or append mode only. It cannot open a file in read mode. If you open a file in read mode, you can use it in only input statement, but printf is a output statement, so you can have a file pointer which has opened the file in which has opened the file in write mode only. Now this statement fprintf sends 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 onto the file. Similarly fprintf fp1 again %d b. What is b value? 653982. This also will be sent into fp1. Means I am trying to write the value of a and the value of b into f1.txt. Okay. And finally close, close. So the 4 steps to work with files. The first step is opening the file, is creating the file stream, opening the file, and then working with the file, that is performing write operation, and then closing. These 4 steps are done accordingly. Now I will run this program. Okay. So there are no errors, so it was a successful completion. Now I will open my directory and I will see whether the file f1.txt is created or not. Yeah, you can see f1.txt is created. Now 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 653982 is written onto this file. We will make some changes in the program and we will see what happens. Now instead of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, I will write 3 4 5 2 8 7 9, and instead of b I will write something like 6 5 8 6 1 2, some values, some new values, and I will run the same program. So now if you can see, previously in this f1.txt some contents which are previously written, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and b value are there. Now I am running the same program again. You will see what happens. So what must actually happen is, when you open a file in write mode, all the previous contents must be erased and whatever you write must be newly written onto it. Now again the program execution has been completed successfully. We will open that f1.txt. See, the new content of a and b are written successfully now. So with this, what we can understand is, when we open a file in write mode, if the file doesn't exist previously, it will be created. If the file exists, all the previous contents will be erased and new contents will be written onto it. Now coming back to fprintf. Fprintf syntax we have seen here in this PPT previously. Fprintf stream pointer. This stream pointer, if I write stdout, it is similar to printf. If I write a file pointer, whatever we want to print, that will be sent to the file output. Similarly, we will look into fscanf. Okay. Now fp1 equals to fopen of f1.txt. Now in the previous program, I have opened f1.txt in write mode and finally I have closed it. Now I am opening the same file f1.txt in read mode, okay, and I want to work on it. f1.txt already have some contents which I have written in the previous program. Now again coming back to read mode, this, when we open a file in read mode, it must exist. means f1.txt must exist. If it doesn't exist, okay, it will return null to fp1. Okay, if this file f1.txt doesn't exist and if you want to open it in read mode, it will return null. If it exists, means if it is already available in your directory, then a file pointer fp1 will be created and it points to the beginning of the file. It points to the beginning of the file. Now, fscanf, we have seen fscanf syntax previously. fscanf, first we need to specify a stream pointer and all the remaining are same as similar to scanf. And in fscanf is a input function. fscanf is a input function. So the first parameter must and should be a file pointer, okay, input stream pointer. It must be an input stream pointer. Okay. Now fscanf fp1 comma %d comma %c. In place of fp1, if I would have kept std in, okay, it is similar to scanf, which means that the integer will be read from the integer will be read from the monitor, that is the console. But now I have replaced this std in and I am placing fp1, means I want to read this integer from a file. That file is f1.txt and I am displaying that c equals to %d c. Some value c equals to some value is read from the file. From which file is this value read? It is read from f1.txt file. So one doubt you might have got is sir, we have written some other value into the file. In the previous program we have written 342879, but now we are getting a different output. Okay, it is right, because when we write that value, this 345879 value is converted to character and then written. Now when we read it, it is read as a integer. It is the 4 bytes are read. Integer is a 4 byte. It will be reading only 4 bytes, and the corresponding value, whatever, we can't expect what value it will be displayed like this. Okay. Now again we have followed 4 steps here. We have opened a file, we have created a file stream, and then opened the file, and then worked with the file, and then closed the file finally. Okay. So this is working with formatted input and output functions. So far how many functions we have seen? Totally 6 functions. So in open close we have 2 functions, fopen, fclose, and in formatted input we have scanf, fscanf, printf, and fprintf. Means 2 input functions, one scanf and another fscanf. 2 output functions, one printf and the other one is fprintf. Okay. And coming to the third category of functions, third category of IO functions, that is character input and output functions. In this character input output functions, they are categorized. I have drawn a hierarchy for this, and they are divided into 2. One is terminal only and the other one is any stream. So in terminal only means they work with only std in and std out. Getchar works with std in and putchar works with std out. No need to specify separately. Whereas any stream, we must and should specify the stream, and we even have a pushback stream, pushback function. So totally how many functions here we have? Getchar, putchar, 2 functions, getC, fgetC, putC, fputC, and ungetC. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 functions in the third category of IO functions, that is character input output. So the syntaxes are like this here: getchar, putchar. So get char, no need to specify a stream here. It by default gets the character using std in stream. Put char, no need to specify any stream here. Whatever you specify as a character here, that is displayed by using std out. But when it comes to get c, put c, f get c, f put c, here we must and should specify. If you look into these four functions, we must and should specify a pointer, file pointer. Okay, file pointer. In these places, if you write in get c, if you write it as std in, f get c you write it as std in, then it is similar to get char again. Okay, similarly put c, f put c, if you in file pointer place if you write std out, they are similar to put char again. Okay, so one specialty about this character input output is they at a time can read one character or write one character onto a input or output stream. They can read one character at a time and write one character at a time onto a file or from a file. And one more thing you can observe here is int get c and f get c syntax both are same. Put c and f put c both are same. This get c, put c are macro functions, and f get c and f put c are functions defined in stdio.std file. Okay, so normally we use these two functions, int f get c, f put c. Okay, and unget c, whenever you read a character and if you want to unread it, we can use unget. Means if you want to roll back in the file, means if you have read 5 characters, if you want to roll back all the 5 characters, you can use unget c. Okay, means it is like this: if a file has 10 characters, first you can read the first character, next second character, next third character. You can't go back after reading the third character. You can obviously go to the, you can read the fourth character, but you can't go back. To go back, obviously you must and should use unget c function. Unget c function. Now we will see some programs to work with this character input output. Now the four steps are common. First, create a pointer and then open a file in read or write mode. Perform as many operations as you require and then close it. Okay, simple. Create a file pointer, open a file, and then perform as many operations as required and then close the file. Now I have created a file pointer fp1. Sir, why always fp1? We can use any name. This is a user defined identifier. This fp1 can be anything, your name or my name or any other name, but it must be a valid identifier. Next, fp1 is equal to fopen first.txt and r means read mode. I think you might have understood previously, just in the previous examples I have shown. To open a file in read mode, it must and should exist. If it doesn't exist, it returns null to it. So assuming first.txt is available, assuming first.txt is available, I have opened the file fp1. First I will see whether a first.txt is available in my directory or not. Yeah, it is there here. Welcome to C programming. Hyderabad, Secunderabad, means totally I have 3 lines of text in this first.txt. Now, so it is available, so it won't return null. So actually I must have written some other statements there, but to make it very simpler, okay, so I have opened a file. I have opened first.txt and the file pointer for that is fp1, and I have performed some operations. See that operations: x equals to f get c of fp1. We look back into the syntax. F get c of the pointer. Okay, So fp1 is a pointer, file pointer pointing to first.txt. fgetc will read one character. What is that one character we have there? W is read here. Okay, and it is stored in x. Now f put c of x comma std out. So if you look into this syntax again, f put c of int comma the file pointer. So whatever character I want to put, I want to specify a file pointer here, a stream pointer. That stream pointer I have specified here as std. So here in f put c I have used the stream std out, and std out, you know that already we have seen in fprintf. Std out is a output stream which displays the output onto the console. Means whatever I have read here as fgetc into x, that is the character, first character which I have shown you in this file, w v is read into x, and that is displayed onto std out, means the console. Again I am reading one more character. The next character that is to be read from the file is e. E will be read. And again I am saying put char. I have told you previously, put char is similar to f put c. The only difference is put char by default uses the output stream std out, and f put c we must specify. So if I specify std out here, again it is similar to put char. Means these two functions, f put c, put char, in this context, in this example program, are both are same. Here it works with std out by specifying here. Here I am not specifying any stream, but by default it uses std out only. Okay, created a stream, opened a file in read mode. I have read two characters, that both the characters are sent to std out. Okay, finally I have closed it. You will see. So our output must be we. W, welcome to C programming, we. See, we have got the output we. Now this is one program. We have few more programs to work with this character input output. This is the second program. Basics are same again. 4 steps: create a stream, open a file either in read mode, write mode, or append mode, r plus w plus any mode, perform whatever operations you want, and then finally close it. Now I have created a stream fp1, opened a file second.txt in write mode. Okay, I have said you write mode previously, basics. If you want to open a file in read mode, it must and should exist. If you want to open a file in write mode, it is not necessary to be existing. If it is already existing, all the contents will be erased, and the file pointer points to the beginning. If it doesn't exist, it will be created when you open a file in write mode. Now I want to say f put c of x in fp1, f put c of y in fp1. So fp1 is a file stream pointer pointing to second.txt. Now I will see my directory whether second.txt is available. It is available. I am deleting that file. Now second.txt is not there. Now coming back to this program, instead of ab I will write m, not m, I will write j, and I will write r. Okay. So I want to write two characters j and r into fp1 using f put c. Build and run. Nothing, I have not displayed anything, nothing onto the console, but we will open second.txt and see. Is second.txt existing now? Yeah, now it is created. You can see here it is created. Now J and R, the two characters which we have written are written onto it. Okay. Now, so the difference between formatted input output and these functions is the difference between formatted input output functions and these functions character input output is in character input output functions at any point of time we can read or write only one character. Okay. And as I previously said you, f unget c is used to unread. Whenever we read two or three characters, if we want to go back, we use this unread function, unget function. Okay. So far how many functions have we completed? In first category, file open, f close. Second category, four functions, scanf, printf, fscanf and fprintf. And in third category, we have totally 7 functions, getchar, putchar, getc, putc, fgetc, fputc and ungetc. A total count of 2 plus 4 plus 7. It is 13 functions. 2 in file open and close, 4 in formatted IO and 7 here. So 13 functions so far totally in input and output. Okay. Now the fourth category of input and output functions is line input and output functions. Fourth category of functions is line input and output functions. And here again we have 4 functions, getS, putS, fgetS, fputS. You might have already been aware of this getS and putS. Yes, exactly. GetS and putS are used when we work with string input and output. GetS and putS are used when we want to read one line of string or when we want to write one line of string onto the console. Means getS reads one line from console using stdin stream. PutS writes one line of putf writes one line of text string onto the console using stdout stream. Okay. Now similarly we have fgetS and fputS. Okay. So in fgetS we have int size. There is something like int size as well as file pointer. If this file pointer is stdin, it is similar to getS, and in fputS if this file stream is stdout, it is similar to putS. But this file stream is used to work with file. Means if you want to read one line of text from a file, we use fgetS by using the file stream here. And if you want to write one line of text to a file, we use fputS by using a file stream here. Okay. So I have a small description about fgetS here. fgetS reads a line from the specified stream. Specified stream means if you use stdin from console, otherwise if you use file pointer here from a specific file. fgetS reads a line from the specified stream and stores it into the string pointer to by the str, that is a character array or a string pointer. It stops when either size -1 characters are read or new line character is read or end of file is reached, whichever comes first. Okay. Now, so to work with this, getS and fgetS are same. getS reads one line from stdin, fgetS reads size -1 number of characters from a file pointer. Okay. So this is about line input and output functions. So before going to block input and output functions, I will show you some other programs to work with files. If you look into this program, fp1 equals to file open of first.txt in append mode. F put c of x comma fp1 means here the file first.txt is opened in append mode. Append mode means the file must be already existing and there must be some contents in it, and whatever contents we write will be added to the end of the file. Now if you look into this first.txt, there is welcome to Hyderabad, welcome to C programming. Hyderabad and Secunderabad are the contents available in this file. Now I am opening the same file in append mode, and my file pointer now points to the end of the file. Now when we want to write new text, that is using fputc or fprintf or whatever output functions we want to use, the contents whatever we want to write will be written into the end of the file. Means this x value and y value, x value is p, y value is q, will be written to the end of first.txt. We will run this program and we will see. Now it is completed successfully. We need to close it. See, P and Q are added to the end of the file. Previously we have only Secunderabad. Now P and Q came to the end of it. Okay. We will look into few other programs. No. A small program again. I have created a file pointer fp1 and opened the same file first.txt in read mode. If fp1 equals to null, when will fp1 will be null? If first.txt doesn't exist, but it is existing, so obviously file pointer, that is my file stream, points to first.txt. So else x equals to f get c. X equals to f get c. Now x equals to f get c reads one character at a time. F get c reads one character from my file stream fp1. Now how many times can I read characters like this? Okay. When you start reading f get c once, w will be read, next e, f get c, el, next f get c, and so on till Secunderabad, B, A, D, it will be read. After that again, still if you want to read the contents, means all the contents available in the text file are completed, still you want to read some more content. Okay, so at that time it will return a character which is EOF, end of file will be written. Means f get c returns EOF when all the contents are completed. When all the contents are completed, still if you want to perform read operation, f get c returns EOF. Now x equals to f get c, while x not equals to EOF. Okay. So initially when I have performed the first f get c, I will be getting w not equals to EOF. So I am saying f put c x comma std out, means that value w will be written into std out. Again x equals to f get c, again from fp1 only. Now e will be read. Is this e equals to end of file? No. Okay. Again that will be displayed onto the std out. Again f get c. And again one more l, c, o, m, e. Means I am trying to read all the characters. How long I will be reading the characters? Till this f get c reads end of file. When will end of file will be read? When all the contents in the file are completed, it reads end of file. Okay, means after Secunderabad in this file, S E C U N D E R A B A D, after D is read, next f get c reads EOF. So at that time I will come out of the while loop. Okay, means this program is used to display the contents of a file. The file, what file? First.txt. In that file, whatever contents we have, that must be displayed. First I am reading one character, it is not end of the file. I am displaying into std out. I am displaying it into std out, and again reading one more character, it is not end of file. I am displaying, again reading one more character, it is not end of file. I am displaying, and so on. As long as it is not equals to end of file, it will be keeping on displaying and reading a character. Once it is end of file, we will come out of the file. Means all the contents of a file are displayed using this program. Okay. See here. Welcome to C Programming Hyderabad, Secunderabad. Now, instead of first.txt, we will create a new file. New file, and we will write we are working with file input and output. This is a content. I will name this file as one.txt. I will name this file as one.txt. Okay. So now I will open that file one.txt. So the output must be displayed onto the console. See the content. We are working with file input and output. Yeah. Means this program is used to read the contents of one file and display it onto the console. So for displaying, obviously we will be using std out in fputc. If I replace this fputc with another one, I will show you one more program. Now, previously in this program I have created only one file pointer. Now I have created two file pointers, fp1 and fp2. fp1 has opened a file first.txt in read mode. fp2 has opened this file second.txt in write mode. Okay. So obviously there is no question of this f open to return null, because when we open a file in write mode, if it exists, data will be cleared. If it doesn't exist, it will be created. So first.txt, if it doesn't exist, there is a chance of being null. So we have gone for that condition here. Else, the same previously I have read one character from fp1, means first.txt. fp1 means stream pointer to first.txt, and if it is not end of the file, fputc of x comma fp2. In the previous one, the same code, I have written fputc of x comma std out, means I want to display it onto the console, whereas here I want to output into fp2. What is fp2? fp2 is a file stream pointer to second.txt, means whatever is read from fp1, that is first.txt, is now sent to fp2, that is second.txt. Again read one more character from fp1. If it is not end of the file, write it, that is output onto the fp2. Means what is happening in this file? Reading characters from fp1 and writing it into the fp2. Means all the contents of second.txt are moved to all the contents of first.txt are moved to second.txt. Now we will see what is there in second.txt first. Something j or something is there. What is there in first.txt? Wait. Yeah. Welcome to C Programming Hyderabad, Secunderabad is there. Now we will run this program. After running this program, our second.txt must contain the contents of first.txt. Okay, contents of one file copied to another file successfully. Now we will open second.txt and we will see. Yeah, the contents are copied. Welcome to C programming, Hyderabad, Second. Previously, we have this contents in second first.txt. Now, using this program, we have copied into second.txt. Okay. Now, like this, we can copy contents of one file to another file. Okay. So, you can note down one task, that is copying contents of two files into a third file. Okay, means if I have 1.txt and 2.txt and I have third.txt, all the contents of 1.txt and 2.txt must come into third.txt. You can take it as a task and you can work on your own. We can call it as merging of two files into a third file. Now we will come back to these functions. So character functions are completed. Now line input also we have seen. GetS, fgetS, putS, fputS. So getS is getS and fgetS are similar. FgetS reads some number of characters. Okay, that is size minus one number of characters, and fputS is similar to putS. The only difference is we need to specify a file stream here. So far, how many functions are done? In file open close we have two functions, fopen, fclose. In formatted input output we have four functions, scanf, fscanf, printf, fprintf. In character input output we have seven functions, getchar, putchar, getc, getc, fgetc, putc, fputc, and ungetc. Totally is 2 plus 4, 6 plus 7, 13, and in line input output we have 4. 13 plus 4 is 17 functions so far. Okay. So the next one is block input and output. These block input and output functions are used to work with binary files. So far we have been working with text files, and these block input output functions are used to work with binary files. Okay, now the parameters here are very important. Okay, now first we will look into write. Whenever we want to write onto a binary file, we need to create a binary file stream pointer. Okay, we will look into some example later. First we will look into the parameters. Now we have a file stream pointer. So write operation means we want to write some content onto a file, means we open a file in write binary mode. That pointer we will specify here, and what data we want to write. Okay, that data variable name, that is address of that variable name here, the address of that variable, and that way the size of element, each element, and how many such elements. Okay, similarly when I want to read from a file, which file pointer it is, and after reading where must I store, what is the size of each element and how many elements. We can understand this when we, after going through an example. A very simple example. Now I have created a integer array, int a equal a of 5 with 5 elements 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50, and I have created a file pointer fptr. As previously said, file pointer can be any identifier, but it must be a pointer to file. And I have opened b file 1, binary file 1 dot bin in write mode. We have seen to work with the write mode, to work with binary files, the modes are: to work with read mode it is RB, to work with write mode it is WB, to work with append mode it is AB. Now WB, if I have specified only W, then it is working with text file. When I have specified with WB, then it is a binary file. This file which I am opening is now a binary file W. Now fwrite a comma size of int comma 5 comma fptr, means fptr is a pointer, file pointer stream pointing to this file, and I have opened this file in write mode, means I want to write something onto it. What must I write? The contents that are available in A must be written into this file. What are the contents of what are the contents available in A? So each element size is size of int, because it is of type int. Size of int means 4 bytes. Each size is 4 bytes. And how many such 4 bytes? 5. How many such 4 bytes? 5 such 4 bytes. Means to this file I am writing data. Where is the data? The data is in A, the array A. And what is the size of each of the element that is available in A? That is 4 bytes, size of int. And how many such elements are you are writing? 5 such elements. Means 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. All these 5 elements are written into that file. If I have written 3, which means that only those 3 elements 10, 20, 30 only will be written. If I write 2, only 10, 20 will be written to this file. But if I write 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the 5 elements, each of size 4 bytes will be written into the file. Now, we will run this program. There are nothing errors, nothing. So it is successfully completed. Okay. Now, what is the file name? bfile1.bin. We will open that bfile1.bin. This is the first one, bfile. Now, some content is there, but we are unable to read because it is a binary file. As I have said initially, it is in binary files we can't read data properly. Okay, but some data is there. Now I will open the same file in read mode. I will open the same file bfile1 in read mode. Okay. And bfile1 in read mode, RB, read binary. Okay, binary file. I am opening that file in read mode. Now the file pointer is fptr, that is a stream pointer for this file is fptr. Now I want to read from this file. Okay, so whatever I want to read, I want to store it in B. Whatever I want to read, I want to store it in B. And size of each element is size of int 4. How many such elements you want to read? 5 such elements, because we have written previously 5 elements. I want to read all the 5 elements. Okay, so the elements previously written there are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 are written into bfile1. Coming back to this, now from fptr I am reading data and I am storing it in my B array. Each element size is 4 bytes. How many such elements? 5 such elements are read. Now I am displaying the contents of those 5, 0 to 4, B of 0, B of 1, B of 2, B of 3. Means I must get the output 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Now we got that output? Yeah. Now, the important part of this is when you are reading or writing data. When you are reading or writing data, the syntax is important. When you are writing a block of data, that is for these functions, the syntax is important. See, fwrite, you want to write onto this file. What you want to write? The contents available at here. What are the contents available? Each of size this much. How many such elements are there? These many. 4 parameters total. Similarly, fread, reading from this file. After reading, where you want to store? I want to store in this area, that is in this variable. What is the size of each element? This is the size of each element. And how many such elements you want to read? These many elements. Okay. So reading from file is f read and writing to file is f write. So how many functions now so far? Okay. How many? 19. 2 plus 4 6 plus 7 13 plus 4 17 plus 2 19. And there are some other functions like file positioning, system file operations, file status, and so on. File positioning. Now, void rewind int ftell int fseek. These are some of the functions which we use to work with positions of our file stream while working with files, which means that if I open first.txt, okay, if I have opened some second.txt, and after that I have read some content, means I might have written f get c some n number of times. I want to know at which position I am now. Now we use ftell. Ftell of fp1 means it gives the current position. If you have already read 10 characters, now it will give as 10. If you have already read 20 characters from the file, now it will give it as 20. Now rewind. So if you have already read 20, again if you want to read from the beginning, we use rewind here. Okay, means we are changing using ftell, we can know the position. Using ftell we can know the current position, and using rewind we can go to the beginning of the file again. And fseek, rewind will totally take you to the beginning, ftell will tell you only the current position, but fseek you want to go to a particular, means I want to go to the 5th position, I want to read the 5th character. Okay. So this fseek helps us. We need to specify the file pointer and at which position you want to go, okay, and where from. It is very simple. Where from, there are some predefined values here. Okay, seek set means starts the offset from the beginning. Seek end starts the offset from the end. Seek current position starts the offset from the current location. I will show you an example program. Now I have opened f2.txt in write mode. What is f2.txt? We will see. Yeah, this one. Now I will delete all the contents of f2.txt. There is nothing in that f2.txt now. I have opened f2.txt in write mode, write plus append, both, write plus read mode. Okay, means first I can perform write operation and then I can perform read operation also. W plus means both write and read mode. Okay. Fputs of welcome to brsw comma fp1. Okay. So I will change this welcome to fputs of welcome to Hyderabad, okay, of fp1 means into this file I am writing this welcome to Hyderabad. Fseek of fp1 comma 5 comma 0 means I want to set a position, I want to set my cursor position at fifth position starting from 0. If you look into this, starting from 0, where from means from 0 I want to go to fifth position. Now what is the content we have written onto the file? Welcome to Hyderabad is written onto the file. Now I want to place the pointer at fifth position, means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, means I want to place my FP1 pointed to fifth position starting from 0th. Okay. Now f get s of x comma 3 comma FP1. We have seen f get s function previously. F get s reads from FP1 how many? Size minus 1 number of characters. You can see here, size minus 1 number of characters. Now fseek moves my cursor to fifth position starting from 0. So welcome to Hyderabad is now written onto the file. In that file from 0th position, fifth position, means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth position. My FP1 is pointing to M here. From there I want to read size, means 3 minus 1, 2 characters, and those 2 characters are now placed in X. Okay, printf percentage x. So the output must be 2 characters from M, means it must be ME. Have we got ME? Yeah, yes, exactly. I will change that phi now. I will change that phi to something 12. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is Y. And now I want to read 5 characters in it. 5 means 5 minus 1, 4. Size minus 1. Means YDER must be the output. YDER must be the output. Have you got YDER? Yes, exactly. Okay. So you might have understood the purpose of fseek. Fseek is to move the pointer to the position wherever we require in a file. Okay. Now here I have specified starting from 0th position move to 12th position. Similarly, we have some predefined values. In that where from, if you write seek set, it is similar to 0. If you write seek end means from the end of the file move to the left. Seek current means from current position move as many characters as you want. So this is about file positioning. So if we want to know the current position, we use ftell. If you want to go to the beginning, rewind. If you want to move to a current position, here there must be a comma exactly here. Okay. So these are about positioning. So how many functions so far? 22. 2 plus 4 plus 7, 13. 13 plus 4, 17. 18, 19. 19 plus 3 is 22 functions so far. Okay. Now system file operations. Now system file operations means to work with files. If you want to remove a file name, if you want to remove a file, give the file name, it will be deleted. If you want to rename a file, give the old name and a new name. Give a old name and a new name, the file will be renamed. And similarly, if you want to create a temporary file to work with data, we can create a temporary file pointer also. Okay, instead of having any pointer, with using a buffer, we can create a temporary file. So these are system file operations, that is removing, deleting a file, renaming a file, and creating a temporary file pointer. Okay, with these 25 functions. Okay, and the last one is file status. Int feof. So to know, so previously we have seen when we are copying one file to another file, if that f gets c returns eof, we are saying that we have reached to end of file. Other than that, if you want to know whether we have reached to the end of the file, we use feof. Okay, feof returns non-zero if the file position is indicator is at the end of the file. Otherwise, it returns 0. If it returns 0, it is not end of the file. If it returns a non-zero value, it is at the end of the file. Okay. Similarly, ferror. We create file pointers, and by opening a file in read mode or write mode. If you open a file in read mode and by mistakenly if you performed a write operation using that file pointer, then obviously that file stream will be entering into error mode. To know whether it has entered into error mode or not, once again I am repeating, if you open a file in read mode, and try to perform a write operation, then the stream pointer, that is fp1 or fp2, will be entering into error mode. To know whether it has entered into error mode or not, we use ferror of some file pointer. So ferror is used to check for the file error on given stream. A return value of 0 indicates no error has occurred, whereas a non-zero indicates an error has occurred. Okay. If you want to clear that error, if you found that using this statement, using this function, if you have found that an error has occurred, if you want to clear that error, we use this function. Okay. So these are the functions to work with file input and output. I will show you a few programs. So this is the end of this. This is the end of working with this file input and output. I will show you some programs to work with these files. I have created a structure. So I am trying to write structures onto files. Okay. I have a structure. So and I have two file pointers, fp1 and fp2. And fp1 I am opening a binary file sample.bin in write mode, and I have created three structure variables, s1, s2 and s3, and s1 is initialized to three values, as we have roll number, name and age, 61 Michael and 19, 62 John and 20, like that. And I have written into fp1. I have written into fp1 has opened sample.bin in write mode, and I have written into fp1 what I have written. Ampersand s1 means s1, whatever the contents with s1 you have written. The size of student, the total is one block. How many such blocks I am writing? It is only one variable, it is not an array. Previously when we have worked with the block IO, that a is an array where we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 values there, but now here it is only one value. So this will be returned to the file. Next, fwrite s2, size of struct student, this is also one value only, means all this 62 John 20 will be returned into fp1, that is sample.bin. Means sample.bin now have two structure values, one is 61 Michael 19, the other one is 62 John 20. Now I have closed that fp1 and opened fp2 in read mode. Opened the same sample.bin in read mode, and I have read fread of ampersand s3, means I have read from fp2, that is sample.bin, into s3 one structure, that is all the contents of structure as one block, and I have displayed. So this while loop executes as long as there are contents in the file. How many such contents are there? We have written only two contents. This while loop works only twice. So the output must be roll number, the contents what we have given. We will run this and we will see. See here, 61. These are displayed using S3. Just go through this program. just writing structures into files and then reading those structures from the same file. So to have a conclusion, so total 8 categories of functions. First category, file open, file close, and second category, formatted input output, scanf, printf, printf. Okay, here we can read, write any type of data here. Character input output, to over here we can work with only characters. Here we have 7 functions. Okay, get char, put char to work with the console. Put c, get c, put c, f, get c, f, put c, and unget c. Total 7 functions. And line input and output, that is the fourth category. We have 4 functions there: get s, f, get s, put s, f, put s. And in block input output we have 2 functions, f read and f write. These block input output functions are majorly used to work with binary functions. And file positioning, we have 3 functions there: rewind, ftell, and fseek. System file operations, we have 3 functions there. Okay, remove, rename, and temporary file. And file status, so finally we have 3 functions: to find whether we have reached end of file, feof; to find whether an error has occurred, ferror; to when an error has occurred, to clear, we can use clear error. Okay, thank you. Hope you have understood all the concepts. So listening to the videos is not always enough. You must always have some practice. Okay, go through some exercises and work with those exercise problems. Try on a compiler, work with them. Okay, thank you.